Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Osmond. In this week's episode, Embry-Riddle celebrates its new research park, Micaplex. Some local kids get up close and personal with dinosaurs, and the Ocean Center hosts thousands of youth for fellowship and fun. Plus, Joanne Magley talks with Jim McNelly, the director of Volusia County's Mosquito Control. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. I hope you stay tuned. Officials with Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University recently celebrated a construction milestone. The last beam of the John Mica Engineering and Aerospace Innovation Complex was raised into place after being signed by a number of dignitaries. Also known as Micaplex, the facility anchors the west side of Embry-Riddle's 17-acre, $32 million research park and will be equipped with a series of high-tech labs to allow researchers to study everything from thermal energy to robotics.
And so the technology that gets developed, the innovations from our faculty, our students, the staff, and the people that work with them, our collaborators, needs to have a place where it commercializes, starts companies, recruits companies, and keeps our students here so that they have jobs in the area. Very important as an economic development tool for all of us.
The research park, named after U.S. Representative John Mica in honor of his key role in supporting the university's educational and research endeavors, is a 50,000 square foot state-of-the-art innovation hub. The facility, in partnership with Embry-Riddle faculty and students, is designed to encompass research enterprises in aviation, space, engineering, unmanned systems, and the environment.
We've always been the leader, and we have to maintain that leadership position. So what you will do here is also take us into that era, because you already are the academic leaders. You will be the research, the innovation, the technology leaders of the future. So we can stay ahead of the game, and people will look to us rather than us looking to someone else. It's starting here, it's starting now, it's starting in Embry-Riddle, and it's starting right next door in the Micaplex. Thank you.
Phase 1 of the research park at Embry-Riddle also includes the construction of a technologically advanced wind tunnel capable of delivering variable and sustained speeds of 10 to 230 miles per hour. Other plans for the park include hangar space with direct taxiway access to Daytona Beach International Airport. This Taxiway Sierra Extension project will connect the research park to the airport's air operations area, allowing researchers to move aircraft between two properties.
All of the things we do are in aviation, aerospace, aeronautics, but we're also in business, we're also in physics, we're also in all kinds of engineering disciplines, we're also in human factors. Many other disciplines are very important to Embry-Riddle, so it's a broad-based STEM university.
The park's west side is scheduled to be complete in 2017. Children in the pediatric unit at Halifax Health Medical Center were recently surprised by some prehistoric guests. Baby dinosaurs. Yes, dinosaurs still exist. Well, sort of. The young reptiles were here as part of the Jurassic Quest dinosaur adventure that roamed at the Ocean Center.
This is, like I said, these kids here in the hospital probably won't be able to go out there at all, so this is just a wonderful experience, even on a personal level for myself, to be able to come and meet them and let them enjoy the experience.
Jurassic Quest is the largest exhibit of life-size, moving, museum-quality dinosaurs in North America. It features realistic scenes, enormous dinosaurs, and activities for kids of all ages. Knowing how much kids of all ages are excited about dinosaurs, the visit to the children in the pediatric unit at the Halifax Health Medical Center provided a unique opportunity for them to get to know more about dinosaurs, ask questions, and even touch the baby dinosaurs.
This is our first time we've actually had the opportunity to come out here. It's somewhere I've always wanted to be able to reach, and so I'm really glad that we finally made it this way and are able to see these kids. We've had a lot of requests for it.
For more information about the dinosaur adventure, you can visit JurassicQuest.com. Here's a look at some events happening around Volusia County. For more events and county news, visit volusia.org. More than 12 million people, mostly children and school personnel, get head lice every year. But as Joanne Magley reports in this week's Business Beat, one local mom is helping children and their parents find relief from these pesky parasites.
So it's going well?
It's going good.
And has anyone gone over with you steps to take at home?
Amy Dvorak knows firsthand the fear and frustration that comes with head lice. All 3 of her daughters contracted it.
We, of course, ran to Walgreens, bought everything they had on the shelf, attempted to treat it at home, and it just was very quickly we realized it was over our head.
When the over-the-counter treatments didn't work, the Port Orange mom found an alternative treatment clinic 90 minutes away in Jacksonville.
We went to the internet, we found a clinic in Jacksonville, and we, the next morning, went to Jacksonville and had it treated.
As she was making the long drive to Jacksonville, she was thinking about the clinic's business model.
And I thought that it would be good for parents to have this option here so that they don't have to travel. And it was such a pleasant experience with such a troubling issue that it inspired me to open one here in Daytona.
Soon after those successful treatments for her daughters, Amy began the process of opening up her own Lice Clinics of America franchise.
It was September when my daughters contracted lice, and then in January I went to West Palm Beach and became Shepherd certified in the Shepherd method, which is the strand by strand. And then we opened in February, and in March we added the air machine.
Once parents find out their kids have lice, they typically go to a drugstore and get an over-the-counter chemical treatment. Now they have the option of coming to the Lice Clinic. Lice Clinics of America is certified to perform 2 types of treatments, strand by strand or the Air LA device.
The first one would be the air treatment, which the heated air is used for 30 minutes on your hair, and then it would be your responsibility to comb out the debris, but everything is dehydrated, so there would be no concerns of live bugs or eggs being alive and capable of hatching. The second option would be where we actually use the air and we do the comb out for you. And then we also have the strand by strand method, which is going through your head strand by strand, pulling every single nit and live bug off.
Prices range from $33 to $199. But Amy says she knows firsthand many parents will do whatever it takes to get their kids lice-free.
With the strand by strand method, we offer 2 follow-up visits, so it's almost holding mom's hand through the process to make sure that as they go back into school or go back into the environment where they contracted lice, that we have trained them to protect themselves and given them pointers on how to not get it again.
For the Business Beat, I'm Joanne Magley.
The core beachside area in Daytona Beach was bustling during July as thousands of young people were in town to enjoy sun, surf, and educational and worship sessions at the Ocean Center. The county-run convention center hosted 3 back-to-back youth conferences.
The reality is we wanted to bring all of our campuses together at summer camp, and the Ocean Center provided a great opportunity for us to do that. So now we've got 17 campuses across the state of South Carolina, but we get the opportunity to all come together here. We've got about 7,000 plus folks that have joined us this summer for summer camp.
The economic impact that the youth conferences bring to our community obviously are the hotels, the restaurants, the gift shops, and these kids are spread out all over Volusia County. We're very fortunate to have this business during the summer months when typical other conferences typically like to go between January and May. So we're really lucky to have these youth conferences and have these great youth.
The Ocean Center is expecting to continue to see record crowds in August as it hosts 5 public events, with 2 of them being new events for the area. Jurassic Quest, a dinosaur adventure, was here for the first time August 5th through 7th. Also new to the Ocean Center is the IRE Mega Beauty Expo, which is August 14th through 15th. Other events in August include the Volusia County Republican Party, and it will host its Lincoln Day Victory Dinner with guest speaker Chris Tanto Peranto on August 12th. The VIP reception begins at 5:30 p.m. and the Lincoln Dinner follows at 7 p.m. For ticket information, you can visit VolusiaCountyRepublicans.org. The National Reptile Breeders Expo will be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. August 20th and 21st. Visitors can see hundreds of captive born snakes, spiders, lizards, amphibians, and turtles, along with herpetology memorabilia, books, and supplies. A cold-blooded creations art show is also a part of the expo. Tickets are $15 and children 6 and under will be admitted for free. For more information, visit reptilebreedersexpo.com. The 6th annual Volusia County Fall Home and Garden Show is set for August 26th to 28th and offers thousands of square feet of exhibits where browsers will find the latest in products and services, including decks, pools, spas, entertainment systems, storage, plants, landscape displays and materials, kitchenware, and more. Visitors can meet celebrity guests Wade King and Brett Raymer, stars of Animal Planet's Tanked. Other highlights include gardening and water features, home improvement items, a kids zone, and a pet zone where pets can be adopted. Learn more at showtechnology.com. For a complete list of upcoming events at the Ocean Center, you can visit oceancenter.com and click on the Events tab. Today on Solutions for Your Life, we get more practical information for you and your family from the Volusia County Extension Service.
Welcome to Solutions for Your Life. I'm Laura Cash, the Volusia County 4-H Extension Agent, and we're here in the Ag Center foyer to celebrate 4-H County events, which includes canning, baking, sewing, horticulture, public speaking, photography, posters, a talent show, and a fashion show. But before I show you some of the wonderful things that the youth have made, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the history of 4-H. Back in the 1800s, farmers were reluctant to use new methods of farming. So researchers said, well, we'll talk to the kids. So that's how 4-H got its roots, in agriculture. Researchers figured that the youth would be more prone to use newer techniques and rely on researchers for that information as they grew up. In 1902, it became a full-fledged youth organization affiliated with land-grant universities. And there were actually 3 H's. The 4th H was added later. They are head, heart, hands, and health. And the official pledge that is used now is, I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world. And the world was added later as well. 4-H has evolved over the years from agriculture only to basically any project area there is under the sun. It has also moved to address different issues, and it has evolved to urban audiences. So a child may be interested in aerospace or zoology, as well as the traditional projects, baking, cooking, animal showmanship, and husbandry. 4-H is for youth that are between the ages of 5 and 18 years old. And our 4-H year goes from September 1st to the following August 31st. So if a child is 5 years old, as of September 1st, they can be in 4-H. 4-H is such a wonderful youth development program that addresses science and technology, healthy lifestyles, leadership and citizenship. And those youth take those life skills and build careers and their lives on them. And they come back. That is what's so amazing about 4-H, is they take those leadership skills and those citizenship skills and the public speaking, and they go out and they make themselves and responsible, wonderful citizens, and they come back and share that knowledge and their experiences with other youth. They're so involved in the community. On display in the lobby at the Ag Center are the youth's entries from sewing, horticulture, poster, and photography. And we have entries from ages 5 to 18 years old. Sewing is one of the entries in county events. This particular quilt was sewn by a 9-year-old who showcased her lamb project. There's another project that we do that's related to the state, and it's called Clothing My World. This one is called a monster, and this is the hot dog pillowcase technique, and they're for youth who are in hospitals. 4-H is constantly evolving to reach the clientele that surround us, and we look forward to being around for at least another 100 years. With Solutions for Your Life, I'm Laura Cash.
The Volusia County Library System has more than just books. Here's a look at upcoming programs at our branches. For more library events, visit volusialibrary.org.
Whoa! Why did you throw the trash out the window?
Once.
Don't you know how long it takes litter to decompose? A cigarette butt takes 1 to 5 years. A plastic bag, 10 to 20 years. A glass bottle, 1,000,000 years.
You know, you're right. We should start caring more about the environment. Let's stop litter now.
Keep Volusia County beautiful.
Put litter in its place. Drive it home.
It's time to go into the studio and join the Director of Community Information, Joanne Magley, and her guest, the Director of Mosquito Control, Jim McNelly.
Thanks, Amber. Well, mosquitoes carrying diseases can pose serious health problems. The Zika virus has been in the news a lot lately, and Volusia County's Mosquito Control Division is carefully monitoring and protecting the area. So joining us today is Volusia County's Mosquito Control Director, Jim McNelly. Hi, Jim.
Hey, Joy.
Thanks for being here. So let's talk about the current situation and as it relates to mosquitoes and the Zika virus. Currently, there are about 400 travel-related cases in Florida, 5 in Volusia County, but in a small area of Miami, there's about 25 cases that have been acquired there locally. And I want to emphasize it's a very small area. It's like a square mile in a state that covers 65,000 square miles. So we want to put everything into perspective. So in both situations, whether the travel-related cases and the locally acquired cases, what are the precautions that people need to know to protect themselves from this disease?
Yeah, really, Joanne, the precautions are the same. What the public can do is always use a repellent to avoid mosquito bites, whether it's these mosquitoes or any of the other mosquitoes that we have in the state of Florida. But always use a repellent that works. Use one of those recommended by the CDC or Consumer Reports. And certainly people can canvass their yards, survey their yards around their residence, wherever it is that they live, and look for any containers that are holding water and potentially producing these mosquitoes. The mosquitoes that can potentially transmit Zika virus as well as dengue or chikungunya are only produced in containers. They are not in the swamps, they're not on the salt marsh, they are only produced in containers.
So give us a little bit of information about how a case becomes a locally transmitted case. That basically means that the people didn't bring it here, they were bit locally. How does that transition happen?
Well, what happens is somebody goes to another country for whatever reason, and they acquire the disease there. So they're bitten by a disease-carrying mosquito, in this case Zika. They return to the United States, in this case Florida. and they're in turn bitten by a mosquito here. There's a short period of time when an individual is infective. It's roughly a week. That is the period of time that they're most susceptible to infecting a mosquito that would bite them. In turn, then, there's a period of time, roughly a week, maybe 10 days, that the mosquito will take to digest the blood. Ultimately, after a week or 10 days, the mosquito becomes infective, and then when that mosquito bites another person, the disease is transmitted to that person. So that's how it becomes locally acquired.
So I know when it comes to a public health threat, you work very closely with the Florida Department of Health, who really handles the health threat side of it. You handle the preventative measures, the protection measures, and then the Department of Health actually comes in to help with the health aspects of it.
That's right. We have a very close relationship. The information will first go to the Department of Health from the hospital system. So this is a reportable disease. It's reported to the Department of Health. They in turn then, when they know that we have a travel-related case of, in this case, Zika, will notify mosquito control, and we take over from simply a mosquito perspective. So we will ramp up surveillance if we don't already have surveillance in the area, and we'll do the same with control efforts.
So let's talk about year-round control, because as you and I have discussed, a lot of what you're doing now in relationship to Zika is really the same thing that you do all year round.
It really is. These two mosquitoes, and these are only two mosquitoes of dozens that we contend with in Volusia County, we've been targeting these two mosquitoes for years. So we know that they have the potential, because of these travelers, to pick up a disease, whether again it's dengue or chikungunya or Zika. We have a large part of our program that is specifically focused on those two mosquitoes. And we do that type of work year round versus these two mosquitoes.
So what are some of the efforts that you do to monitor mosquitoes? Talk about the sentinel chickens and maybe the traps.
We have 12 sentinel chicken flocks. We've talked about that in the past. They're all over the county, so they cover the entire county. And they monitor 4 different diseases. They're not involved in Zika surveillance, but they're involved in the surveillance of diseases such as West Nile, St. Louis encephalitis. So when a mosquito that is carrying one of those diseases bites a mosquito, bites a chicken, excuse me, the chicken will ward off the disease through its immunity system, create antibodies, and we survey for those antibodies by taking a small sample of blood once a week.
And then how does that help you in your efforts then?
We in turn send that information off, the blood off to the Department of Health. They test the blood. They let us know, in fact, whether the chicken was bitten by a mosquito that's carrying the disease, and that helps direct our efforts. So if we get a chicken that has tested positive for West Nile in a certain area, we'll do additional surveillance, and we will do control efforts in that area.
And what are the control efforts that you do? You have a special type of fish that actually helps control the mosquito population.
We do. All mosquitoes are developed in standing water. So again, it's that container, it's that puddle, it's that gutter that's clogged. Yes, in some areas we'll put out a fish that's referred to as a mosquito fish that loves to eat the aquatic stages of the mosquito's life cycle, the larva and the pupa. So we put a lot of them in fountains that aren't working, in abandoned swimming pools, and they do a great job of taking care of mosquito production in those sites.
So you mentioned earlier about the importance of spraying and using, people spraying themselves with DEET to protect themselves from a bite. What are some other precautions that you recommend for people, not only on their personal protection, but maybe around their yard?
Well, certainly around the yard, look for those containers. That's the one thing that the public can do to really help us, themselves, and their neighbors with eliminating mosquitoes that are produced right in their backyard, front yard, or side yard. So just take a look around the yard once a week between May and October. Tip over those containers that might be holding water. If it's necessary that the container hold water, flush it out once a week, and that'll eliminate any mosquito production. They can also make sure, the public can make sure that their screens are in good shape. Certainly if you have an air-conditioned home, that helps a lot with reducing mosquitoes coming into the home. But look at your garage. You know, we leave our garage door open quite a bit in the summer. Mosquitoes do enter the garage, and they're just waiting for you to open up that door between the garage and the kitchen, and they'll work their way into the house. So check your screens, your doors, make sure they're all tight. Repellent, long sleeves and long pants when you can in this heat. Not always possible, but when you can.
And I think it's really important, Jim, to emphasize the responsibility, really, that all of us have to help fight the mosquito population. Because as you have mentioned numerous times, especially the mosquitoes that carry the diseases, they're bred in containers, and you've done surveys that many homes, you don't think about, you don't see a big bucket around, so you don't think about a container, but the container size can be as small as a capful.
That's right. It really comes down to a matter of personal responsibility. You know, we look at thousands of residences every year as part of a domestic inspection program. So we go from house to house, and we'll tip the containers for folks, but it is impossible for us to do every home in the district, every home in Volusia County. So it really is a matter of personal responsibility, and folks would really help themselves if they would just take care of those containers.
So our message is tip and toss at least once a week.
That's right.
All right, well, Jim McNelly, if people want more information about fighting mosquitoes, or maybe want to know where mosquito control might be spraying, where can they get that information?
They can get that at volusia.org. Click on that services drop-down menu. We're right there, mosquito control. That will get you to our homepage, and the public can put in a service request 24/7. And they can also see the spray map, so they can see where we're spraying tonight. They can see where we sprayed last night and going back 2 weeks.
All right, Jim McNelly, Director of the Volusia County Mosquito Control, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Joanne.
Amber, back to you.
Thanks, Joanne, and thank you too for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can always feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. In fact, you can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Osmond. Have a wonderful evening.